to the Minion Moto show, you guys. Just hang out with me, you know, because I can't really moto vlog right now because of the fact that my audio issue, I'm having an audio issue just like a Viper 6 is with the damn microphone adapter. So, and then still got that fire going on over there. Y'all can see the smoke over there, hopefully. But I kind of want to talk about, you know, 2.5 years of riding this bike, what I've done to the bike. You know, some of the upgrades of what I've done to the bike already, and what I would like to do with the bike in the future whenever I get the money and whatever. So the first thing I actually did with the bike, I'm going to try to go in order if I can, is these side plates right here on both sides. These are called side plates right here on both sides. Those came stock on the bike. The front number plate up here on the front of the bike, that came stock on the bike in white, and I never replaced those. As you can see, they're all scratched up, and it's getting to the point where I'm gonna have to probably replace all the plastics here soon at some point or another on my bike, probably. But I'm not gonna worry about that for, you know, a long time, because, you know, that's gonna be like $300 that I don't have, right? So I changed the back fender from an orange fender to a white fender. I changed the front fender from an orange fender to a white one. And these are called side plates right here where it says legalized wheelies. That's all fucked up in the IMS. Those were originally orange with the black inserts there, right? I changed them to the white with the black inserts. The fork guards down here where it says the Rockstar sticker on there, those were originally white with the white and orange graphic kit on them, and I changed them to black. And then that Acerbis front brake disc guard, I added that on there as well at the same time as switching out those plastics, because my bike never came with one. So there's that. And then the next major thing, which was kind of minor, cheap, whatever, I put these orange spoke wraps onto my front and back wheel, front and rear wheel on the wheels. And I'm gonna probably have to change them out soon, because I could see that one or two of them have little cuts in them, and they're really starting to fade out like there's no tomorrow. But I don't care. I'll just leave them on there until they start falling off or they start breaking apart. And now we got 3 planes flying over here. There's 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 planes there. And then that we have a news helicopter and a firefighter's plane flying around that drops all that red fire retardant stuff in the water. So we got 4 planes. One of those might be that plane. So there's like 3 planes in it anyways. And then another big upgrade I did was actually the first thing I ever did was on the other side of the engine. There's a little circle with 2 more circles that are connected to it, where it's 2 bolts and then an adapter, an adjustment screw in the center. And inside there's a spring about that big, about that long, with a smaller spring about that big and about that thick. And they come in, like I said, green, yellow, and red, which is completely opposite of a stoplight. Red means go, stop. Yellow means slow down. Green means go. Well, on those springs, green slows the engine down, lowers the RPMs, slows down the throttle response, because it's a real stiff, thick spring that's hard to compress. Now the yellow is a little bit thinner and a little bit softer, so it's a little bit easier to compress. And then so this bike came with the green spring inside the engine now, and the adjustment screw was all the way in, so I had like nothing there. And so I took the green spring out, or the green spring out, put the red one in there, which is really soft, really thin, and it's like almost nothing's there. I put that in there, and I adjusted that adjustment screw all the way out, so that way when I hit the gas, it's brrr, instead of just brrr, 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 it's brrr. So it really added some power to the bike, which is good. It uses more fuel, but you know, who cares, right? Like, when you're riding a bike, you're not really worried about how much fuel you're using, because the more fuel you're using, the more fun you're having, right, when you're riding a bike. So then I ended up putting a Shinko 525 cheater rear tire on the bike, on the rear. Shortly after that, I bought those handguards for $29.99 plus tax, and I think I got free shipping on it. So it was like under 35 bucks, and I got them in like a week, in like 4 days, right, for those handguards off of Amazon, right? And then yeah, what's weird is those handguards, when I put those things on there, for some weird reason, those gave me a boost of confidence, and I started going full out ham. I started going a lot faster for some weird reason. I started doing more shit than I usually do. I was plowing through soft sand. Some of these soft sand washes, like the one that's down there a little ways that you've seen me go through. And Randy was out here, and you know, him and I went up that hill, which, like, I was scared shitless. Like, I wasn't scared shitless of going up that hill. I was just more or less like not confident enough to do it. And then I saw Randy do it on his bike that weighed like 60 pounds heavier than my bike. That was a 4-stroke that has more low end grunt than my bike did. I'm like, you know what, 20 years of riding, why have I not gone up that freaking hill yet? Like, so I'm like, I did it, whatever, right, cool. And then we got the IMS 3.5 gallon tank that I put on this thing in August of 2019, right? And I'm gonna tell you what, in my opinion, you know, if you have a stock 1.5 gallon tank, 1.8 gallon tank, whatever, IMS 3.5 gallon tank or bigger, whatever, the biggest tank that you can get from IMS is the best $300 or so that you're gonna ever spend for your bike, no matter what, period. It's the best $300 roughly dollars that you're gonna ever spend. That's just on one. You know, there's other things that is like the best amount of money that you could spend for your bike, but I'm just saying, for the time being right now, buying a bigger gas tank is one of the best investments I made for this bike. You know, the other best investments you can make on this bike, on your bike, is buying Shinko tires, and then buying sprockets and chains from sprocketspecialists.com. Now, if you want to go to ims.com and buy yourself a bigger gas tank, a gas can, they also have foot pegs, whatever, use the discount code 76IMSM and you will get 35% off at imsproducts.com. Sprocket specialists do front and rear sprockets and chains. Follow both of those accounts on Instagram And if you use Minion Moto at sprocketspecialist.com at checkout, you will get 25% off chains and sprockets for your bike. They custom make sprockets, and they will make it to fit whatever bike that you have. And with IMS gas tanks, they have a thing of Yamaha, Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, KTM, Husqvarna, this and that, and then you click on that and you pick on the size of bike that you have, the year, make, model, whatever, and they show you what they have, you know, in natural color and black, stock 1.8 gallon, 2 gallon, 2.5, 2.25, 3, 3.2, 3.3, 3.5, 4.0s, all the way up to like I think 5 gallon, you know, things. Now I could have gotten a 4 gallon tank for this bike, but I wanted to keep these shrouds because I think their tank had these shrouds attached, which was a part of the tank that also got filled up with gas, right? And yeah, that would have given me an extra half a gallon of gas while out riding, but it was in black. There was a couple problems with me personally. I wanted to see how much fuel I had in my bike, so that's why I went with the natural color. They didn't have the 4.0 4 gallon in natural, unfortunately. Otherwise I would have got. And then another reason is, like I said, I wanted to keep those shrouds, so that way if I got a big huge gouge out of the side of one of these shrouds, I could pop them off and slap my stock ones on there and save up some money to buy some new ones later on, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass to have more parts on your bike, but when you have more parts on your bike and one part breaks, you get to replace that one part instead of having to replace the whole fucking tank. When you get a gouge taken out of it and it starts leaking fuel, well, then you're screwed. You have to buy a whole new tank or put the stock 1.8 gallon tank on there, right back on there. So another thing I did, as you all seen in the video, is I put this pull strap here, right? Now the good thing about having this pull strap, emergency strap here, is if I were to fall, be riding my bike, and let's say I'm not paying attention and oops, my front tire slid into the ditch right here, and I was having a hard time getting it out, getting my dirt bike out of here. Well, instead of trying to sit there and pull on the bike by the handlebars, the front forks, the hand guards, and sitting there trying to fight with the bike, right? I can grab it here on the pull strap and the bars at the same time and then literally drag the bike out, right? That's the whole thing. Now they have one that bolts in to right here on both sides. And this thing's broken. Yes, I know. I gotta replace these damn things at some point. Acerbis or whoever, plastic companies, I need some new side plates. They probably use a whole new fresh set of plastics actually, but whatever. But it's got these two loops that bolt into both sides, and then it's just a strap that goes over here, so that way you can grab it by the strap and pull the bike out instead of having to grab it by the fender, by the hot exhaust, by the tire, and then wearing yourself out like there's no tomorrow. You just grab it by the thing and just yank the bike out. So I'm now on like my second or third Shinko 525 cheater on the rear. I think I'm like on my first or second Shinko 216MX front tire on here. So that's basically everything I've done to the bike. so far. Now, what I would like to do with the bike in retrospect in the future is I would like to buy a whole new fresh set of plastics, everything, right, in black. Buy everything in black: fenders, number plate, side plate, shrouds, shock guards, front disc brake guard, and then have Langex of the Desert spray it all in black protective coating, which is what you use in the bed of trucks, and then take these ones, take all the stickers off, and then take them over to Langex of the Desert again and have them spray the white ones in white, the black ones in black, and then these shrouds that are white and black, spend a few extra bucks and having them do white and black on there, just so in that way I don't have these big gouges taking out of the side of my plastics. Now, with the protective coating being on there, it's going to be that real textured stuff, so I won't be able to have stickers on here. So I would probably do that with all of the plastics, with the exception of the front number plates, just so I can have 1 or 2 stickers on the front number plate, and that would be it. Then the rest of them would be the protective coating. Another thing I would like to do would be the exhaust pipe and muffler. I don't care if it's FMF, Pro Circuit, Mountain High pipes. They have cool pipes that are a little bit higher and closer to the engine, so that way you don't have to worry about putting big ass dents and shit in your pipes and whatnot. But you know, definitely do an exhaust system on this thing, just so in that way, you know, the thing sounds better, things runs better, whatever. I checked the reeds, which is right between the head of the engine and the carburetor, and they're on this little A-frame thing, and they open up when you pull the throttle. This lets the air and fuel mixture into the engine. I don't have, like, I have basically the stock plastic reeds in there. If I did some types of reeds, I don't care. I mean, I don't know if reeds really make that big of a difference or not. I personally don't know. Now, if somebody who has a reed company that knows more about that than I do or whatever, and you want to send me some fucking reeds to try out, then hell, I'm all for trying it out and, you know, telling you, hey, if it works, it works, you know, shit, I don't care. And that's really about it. I really only want to do the exhaust system on this thing. I would definitely have to go with Sprocket Specialist chain and sprockets on this thing, because they have some sprockets that I really like, you know. And then I wouldn't mind doing a full tear down rebuild on this bike either. Even though it's only got 74 hours on this thing, like, I would not have a problem with tearing this bike down to the bare frame, sandblasting the frame, and having it either powder coated black or having it sprayed in the black protective coating from Langex, and then do the same thing with the swing arm, have it powder coated or sprayed with the black protective coating from Langex, something like that, and then have somebody professionally tear the engine apart all the way down, putting fresh gears in there, putting a fresh piston and all that shit in there. And I wouldn't mind taking the 250cc head off of this thing, top end off, and putting a 300cc head back on with a 300cc piston, and then putting a full 300cc exhaust system on the thing as well. And then maybe putting a smart carb or a higher end carburetor and reed system on this, just to give this thing more power and all that type. I don't know, something like that, and then go through everything, re-grease all the bearings and clean out all the, like the swing. There's a, right where the swing arm bolts to the frame, there's like an axle in there that needs to be cleaned out, and the linkage needs to be cleaned and all that type of shit. And have the then I would, at that point, I would send the forks and the rear shock in to have somebody professionally do, like, rebuild those things. Then I would powder coat the shocks to where they were black on top and gold on the bottom, and then have them that spring on the rear shock, I would have them take the paint off of that or whatever, and then have them spray it in black. So, and then maybe do like a new seat cover, where like the seat gripper seat covers, to where it's like all black, and then those ribs on here I would do orange ribs. That's really all I would want to do with the bike. So anyways, I'll shut up, stop rambling, and I'll let you guys go.